Hi, this is the communications team here with two members of Ecumenical Women. We are all working together to plan out a variety of events and advocacy actions during the upcoming Commission on the Status of Women coming up in March 2013. If you want to introduce yourselves, these are the two folks that are giving us an update this month.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine Mangale. I'm the Program Coordinator at the Lutheran Office for World Community.
Hi, I'm Mia Ajali from representing the World Federation of Methodist and Uniting Church Women, some 4 million women around the world.
Great. So we have a bunch of different committees that are working on different aspects of CSW57. If you could start by updating us on what the orientation team is up to.
So the orientation team has received a lot of positive feedback. Many of you are looking forward to coming to next year's CSW, and the orientation team is putting on the registration form together so that it will be up and running by January. So please be on the lookout and be ready to register for very exciting events that we always do during CSW.
Great. And how about the communications team?
The communication team is also very busy updating the website with information and updates like what we are doing right now. But then they're planning to do a series of interviews and stories from some of the delegates who are coming here so that we get to share those stories before CSW.
Great, and those stories will be shared, starting after the holidays as well in January.
Yes.
And how about the advocacy team?
Well, the advocacy team, I tend to be much more on the worship team, but the advocacy team is helping out with the orientation that we're all working on very carefully. And it will include interpretation of perhaps more languages than we're used to interpreting. But the orientation is something that we are really looking forward to. And we'll be able to meet everybody in the Salvation Army at 52nd Street this time. And that will be a great time for us to come together. There's good space there.
Yeah, that's great. And when we talked about the meeting too, there will be some. The advocacy team is also coming up with some talking points at this point, and sort of working on some of the sort of workshops or panels that are going to be happening at the orientation. And finally, you two are both mostly directly involved, as you said, Mia, with the worship committee. So, what's being planned with the worship committee at this point?
Well, the worship committee, I think, has been really thought out very carefully, but we'd like to share with representatives at the orientation committee some of the things that some of the women that we would like for them to get to know better in the that lived in the biblical context and that expressed or were submitted under different violences that actually survive until today. The person that I'm particularly very involved with is the person who spoke out very with great insistence to the judge in the story. And she argued with the judge so well that it wore him out. And he said, I will give you what you want because you've worn me out. But that's just one kind of violent confrontation that is represented among the different characters that we have each morning. We will have that in the worship service. And we will make sure during orientation that everyone understands what we are doing every morning and what different personalities we are representing living under the Roman Empire at that time.
Great. Is there anything else you want to add, Christine, to that?
Mia has said it all, but one of the key things that we want to look at, because the theme is violence against women, so prevention and elimination of violence against women is very important. And here recently there's been a lot of erosion, if you may, of the Beijing platform of action. So some of the agreed language that's already there is being threatened. So we are going to be looking at these women in the Bible, who most of them are named women, and the situations they face, the economic, the social, the structural, and the institutionalized violence that they lived in that time, and then comparing it with our times now, and looking at how women today are still facing more or less the same challenges as before. So the different dominant institutionalized violence within our society, this very violent society right now, and how women are resisting and standing up and preventing and working towards the elimination of violence against women.
And I think that hopefully we'll be able to remind the representatives that will be with us about the biblical women, but also of the Beijing platform for action, which many people have forgotten or haven't had a chance to really look at carefully.
Right.
And it will be a chance for us to discuss both of them, that even in the modern language of Beijing, we are talking about some of the same issues that we find in the day of the parables and the laws in biblical times.
All right, great. Well, thank you both so much for updating us on what's happening with Ecumenical Women. Any final words for all the folks watching this update from all around the world?
Well, we are looking forward to welcoming you, hearing your stories, and holding our governments accountable to the agreed language, agreed actions that they decided to take to eliminate violence against women. And also we are wishing you a very, very Merry Christmas this time as we're celebrating, and a blessed New Year.
And a very good New Year.
All right. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap.